can't believe the Kansas City Chiefs are not going to the playoffs. I think even the last few weeks, Teak, I held out this belief that they would find a way. And it ended in like the saddest way possible with the torn ACL for Patrick Mahomes, which certainly creates questions on when he'll be ready next year.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's a 10-month injury.
Yeah.
And some people say maybe even 12 if it's more complicated because of a meniscus or anything else other than just the ACL. That's basically the end of the season. So we're talking clearly this year because they were eliminated by losing that game yesterday, but also maybe next year. And Travis Kelce's likely to retire at 37 years old, go get married to Taylor Swift and go off and live a life. But the receivers haven't been good. We talk about the Giants dropping passes. How many drop passes does that team have?
Tons.
And so, it feels like the era just ended quickly and it might not come back.
It feels like this era has ended. And the question is, what will the second incarnation of Mahomes and the Chiefs look like? And it does fit perfectly with the Tom Brady run, because the same thing happened to Tom in terms of how many years into his NFL career, and then he gets knocked out. It was a little different because it was the first week of the year,
right?
And so we had time to recover. And then the Patriots won 11 games anyway with Matt Castle at quarterback.
Right, he got paid after that.
But I mean in terms of missing the playoffs and then coming back the following season. And big things, and basically being another era of Patriots football. Because it feels like the Belichick-Brady dynasty was almost split up into two parts, which is why watching Mahomes over the last few years and comparing him to Tom, I've always said he's ahead of Tom in every category. He's ahead in terms of even winning. He's ahead in terms of stats. It's about what he's going to do in the second half of his career. That's what's going to make measuring up to Tom Brady so difficult. And one of the big things working against him is what you just said. When Tom had his injury, he had a whole year to recover, and he came back, and it was fine. There are major questions on if Mahomes is going to be ready for the start of next season.
Yeah, I doubt that he will be. And then the other thing that we're not including is I feel like Bill Belichick managed that roster so well for so many years. You never felt like you were going to go into a season with some holes. We already knew that this current Chiefs team has holes in it, and even with some good players on the team, they're not playing up to snuff. Rishi Rice has not been elite like everybody thought that he would be. Travis Kelce is over the hill all of a sudden at this point. And so not only are you going to be a doubt at the quarterback position next year, but you also have a ton of positions to really shore up and figure out whether or not they'll be good or not. And it does. I don't think anybody's scared of the Kansas City Chiefs like everybody was scared of the New England Patriots. I think teams have started to catch up with them a little bit. Now, ultimately beating them is the hard thing, because you always had Pat Mahomes, who was such a gamer, he'd figure out a way to get victories. But without him, I don't see this Kansas City Chiefs team being the dominant team that they've been. And if they are, then Andy Reid deserves to go in the Hall of Fame while he's still coaching.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know if you feel this way. I'm going to miss the Chiefs being in the playoffs. I think they were a fun foil. They were the big evil. Like, who can knock them off? Can the Bills finally get past them? And look, if you're a Bill fan and you win the Super Bowl, you are not going to cry over the fact that the Chiefs aren't there. I have a slightly similar experience with the Mets getting to the World Series in 2000, but never beating the Braves, their arch nemesis. I did not care. I got to the World Series. Like, what the hell do I care?
Yeah. The thing with the Chiefs, Evan, is that they weren't hateable as a dynasty. Most dynasties you hate. You don't want to see them continue to be successful. That's how it was with the New England Patriots. It's how it was with the Cowboys. This Kansas City Chiefs dynasty didn't feel hateable.
What I find real interesting is if the season ended today, and I love if the season ended today when we get late into the season, because it gives you an idea of what the postseason would look like. I would make an argument that every single road team will win their first-round playoff matchup, because here is how it lines up right now. The Chargers at Pittsburgh. I would pick the Chargers.
I agree 100%.
The Bills at Jacksonville.
100%.
I would pick Buffalo.
Even though Jacksonville's played really well over the last couple of weeks.
No, you're right. But look what Buffalo did yesterday coming back on the Pats.
They were getting destroyed.
I know.
I thought that was going to be a runaway victory for the Pats.
Yep, and it turned the other way.
Right.
And then this one you may disagree on, but the 7-seeded Houston Texans against the 2-seed Patriots.
Now, given how well that their defense is playing right now, the Houston Texans, and it looks like C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins have refound their quarterback wide receiver connection. I wouldn't put anything past DeMeco Ryans and that Texans team. They had to fight through some stuff.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, they're really damn good again.
On the NFC side, Seattle at Tampa Bay, assuming they hold on and win that division.
Yeah, I can't trust Tampa anymore.
San Francisco at Philadelphia, despite the Eagles destroying the Raiders.
The Eagles beat up on bad teams, man.
Exactly. And then finally...
They're Yankee bullies.
They are. And then finally, Green Bay at Chicago. I guess I'm just still skeptical of Chicago. And obviously the Packers took a huge blow with Micah Parsons. It's a torn ACL. What a brutal injury for Green Bay and for Micah Parsons. But I would still kind of, if I had to pick, lean towards Green Bay. Point is...
To me, that's a toss-up.
The road teams are either going to win all these games or be close to being favorites in all of these games.
No, you're right. It's a good thing, though. That's good for football.
Oh, yeah. No, it's great parity. One other thing before we get to your calls, because I'm very curious if you think this is a big deal or not. So, in the Cleveland game, Shedeur Sanders did not play well. And it came out early in the broadcast that Kevin Stefanski gave him the wrong wristbands. Take a listen to the report that was filed early in the Browns game.
Check in with Allison.
Kevin, worth noting with Cleveland's offense struggling just operationally to start this game. Prior to this possession, when Shedeur was on the sideline, he actually came over. They removed the wristband with the play calls in there, and they made a change to one of the sheets and some tweaks, some changes with that wristband that he wears with the play call. So that could have been part of the issues they had early.
And it was confirmed it was the wrong wristbands. How big of a deal is this?
I mean, a huge deal. This is just simple operational procedure. And how that happens is either direct malfeasance or incompetence, neither one of which is acceptable. You know what I mean? And so, especially in a game, look, the Bears are better. The Bears are going to beat them regardless, I think. But to be that bad because of something that is easily preventable is inexcusable. That's rough.
I would think twice about Kevin Stefanski. I know that's a name that you guys have brought up, but this would be, at least in the interview, I'd be peppering him with questions about this.
This feels like George Costanza driving around with the World Series trophy at the Yankee Stadium parking lot trying to get fired. That's what it feels like.
Oh, is that what you're thinking?
I think he wants out of Cleveland.
That's interesting. Teak, do you think this is a I'm trying to get fired moment?
I do think he wants out. I do. It's a disaster.
He's put on
the place is a disaster. I mean, think about the things that they've done, right? They trade for or whatever. It was a trade. They trade for Deshaun Watson and they pay him basically a fully guaranteed contract, which is the most ridiculous thing you could do especially for a guy who had troubles like he did. Then you draft a small quarterback in Dylan Gabriel and then start him over Shedeur, even though Shedeur probably had the edge in training camp, simply because you're holding a grudge. Like, I don't understand the direction of the organization at this point. And so if you're Kevin Stefanski, the last thing you want is for your career record and your reputation to go down the drain with the Browns.
If you are, let's say Joe Shane and John Mara give you a call and they say, Teak, we just want you to be in the room for the head coach interviews.
Okay.
You're not making the decision, but we want you to listen. So now you're in the room, Kevin Stefanski's in the room, and Joe Shane looks at Kevin Stefanski and said, hey, what happened with the bracelets?
Yeah.
And he looks and says, yeah, I tanked it. I needed to get out of this organization. I didn't want to be there. It's a disaster. And so I did it all on purpose. Would you say, okay, no biggie? Or would you say, wait a second, I can't hire this guy?
It depends on how honest he is. It's like, how is he BSing you, or is this for real?
Well, what would be better? Because if it's for real, isn't it still concerning?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it probably is disqualifying, but you just don't say it.
He could also spin it like he was trying to teach Shedeur Sanders how to, work on the flow.
Seasons lost.
Yeah.
Right? Decide, figure it out on your own.
Learning lesson. There's a way to spin it. Now, I would tell you what would make me not hire Stefanski if he referred to them as bracelets, as you just did, as opposed to wristbands.
Oh, yeah, bracelets. I'm sorry.
Sorry, then I'm definitely out on
bracelets. I hate bracelets, by the way. The most annoying thing in the world.
The most annoying thing in the world?
Yeah, because they cut off the circulation of your wrist. I hate it.
Okay.
Not a
fair
fan.
enough.
And the same thing with wristbands. Don't like wristbands either.
What about watches? Where do you fall on watches?
Hate watches.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
He
with you.
considers those bracelets, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that what? It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, it's just with a clock on it.
Exactly.
It's a bracelet with a clock.
Exactly.
Yeah, it helps you tell the time.
Let's go to Dominic in New Rochelle. What's going on today, Dominic?
Hey, what's up, gentlemen?
What's up?
I want
good,
to touch
Dom.
base on a few things. Evan, I think you're totally wrong on the two-point conversion theory. If you don't convert there, you essentially just took yourself out of the game. And at that point, you're down 2 scores with under 4 minutes left. Also, players can think they're already out of it, which is probably deflating for the team. You want to get to that point. That's why you kick the extra point there. And at least the team knows they can get to that point after that. Now, my point about Kafka, why does he constantly put Dart in design quarterback runs knowing his history so far this year? Also didn't like his call on 3rd and 20 when he ran the ball. I would have thrown it there, especially with the refs these days.
Yeah.
Good things always happen when you throw the ball, whether it be illegal contact or a PI.
Yeah,
This is why they need to clean house. I wouldn't even have Kafka as an OC next year for this team. They need to clean house, including the GM. Hopefully draft a big-time secondary prospect like Caleb Downs or a big-time receiver to go along with Neighbors and Dart. Their secondary is atrocious, and I believe they need a defensive-minded coach next year like Chris Shula or Jesse Minter. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's starting to feel like that needs to be the mentality of this team because they haven't had one in a really long time. Beyond what was it? Was it Parcells?
Parcells.
Wow.
The last
crazy.
head coach they had with a defensive background
Yeah,
is Bill Parcells.
Because it was then. Wow. Wow. Yeah, because Fossil. Before that, it was Dan
Reeves.
Dan Reeves, Fossil, Coughlin. Then
You don't have to
McAdoo.
fact check me. Trust me. I'm right on this team.
Judge the
Jeez,
special
wow,
teams.
That's
That
kind
was
of crazy.
I know. It's
And then
nuts.
Joe Judge with special teams. Yeah, you're right.
It's the opposite of the Jets, who go only defense.
Yeah.
Let's go to Diego in East Meadow. What's up, Diego?
Hey, boys.
Yo.
Tiki, the question that you have to ask the incoming coaches, forget about Evan's stuff about trading Dart.
Right.
You're going to ask them, what do they plan on doing with Darius Slayton? And if they tell you they want to keep him on the team, then you know to move on to the next interview. But I have not seen a wide receiver kill so many drives, like kill the momentum, like Darius Slayton. Like, it is unbelievable. When the team needs him the most, his hands turn to stone.
Yeah, he's unreliable, and it's unfortunate because he's a good locker room guy for this team, and I think that's why he is here, and it's why he got the extension, but he doesn't perform. He's not a consistent enough playmaker. And I know the one throw that was, he had to turn around, it was over his outside shoulder, then it was inside shoulder because of the wind, was a difficult catch, but it hit his hands. If the ball hits your hands, you catch it, period. And there's been too many of those this season.
Every time Darius Slayton has a drop, I get a new email sent to me of an old Sean Morash Darius Slayton tweet because apparently Sean was like the biggest Darius Slayton stan back in the day.
Definitely was.
And what do you think of him now?
What I've started to think since that drop in Minnesota in 2022, I think Darius Slayton's a great guy, a pro, but ultimately a losing player that represents losing football, and I've had it with him.
Unfortunately, the grade we gave Joe Shane for keeping Darius Slayton gets worse by the week.
Yeah.
It was already a low grade, but it's a more impactful low grade every week that goes by. Jim in West Harrison. Hey, Jim.
How are you today?
It was good.
Good.
Evan, your take on the trading Dart. I mean, you remember the nickname I gave you with your former partner, Mr. Maloik and Mr. Gullible?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mr. Gullible is at it again. Your take is like a Mount Rushmore of dumb takes.
What is my take exactly? Because I think you're confused. What is my take? Is my take too trade? No, that's not my take.
How often have you said a lottery ticket? You want to trade the first your quarterback.
I know, but that's not.
Like Dart.
But that's
for
not
a lottery pick.
I know, but
for
that's not my
said.
take. My take is.
Yes, it is.
No, my take.
You bring it up. That means it's your take.
My take is I need Joe Shane out the door because if I'm picking number 1 overall, all options need to be on the table, and there's a closed-mindedness.
That's not true. You want to trade for a lottery pick.
Of course, it's not true. What do you mean it's not true? What part is not true? The part that you're closed-minded or the part that I'm actively wanting to trade Jackson Dart? Which part's not true?
You should trade for a lottery pick.
No, I'm saying that when I'm picking number 1 overall for the first time in 50 freaking years, I need to evaluate everything, including, yes, the possibility that I would draft a quarterback that I'm in love with and trade the one I have. If you're asking me, Evan Roberts, like, would I do? I like Jackson Dart, but I'm not closing the door on it if I'm picking number 1 overall.